Last time this Bitcoin signal flashed a crossover. Okay, when you have these crossovers, I believe this is a RSI crossover, or no, a MACD crossover. Bitcoin pumped 171%, and it's crossover now, right? 171% will send us straight to six-figure plus. That's what I'm waiting for. And the last time this happened, guess when it happened? In October of 2023, right? Not a coincidence. October is when it happened, and we're still in October. And we're testing that 68.2 mark. I think we're going to shatter through this time. I'm going to prove it to you why we're going to shatter through this time. And here's some very crazy chart from Plan B. That's the stock to flow power law predicts 500K average in sometime between 2024 and 2028. So average, meaning the low end 250,000, high end 1 million. So somewhere in between there. Somewhere in between there. Again, a lot of predictions, right? Based on what has happened before, we are looking pretty darn good. We're at the start of the parabolic bull run. We're in October. We don't have to wait any longer. We are in that phase where we are rising, and wherever we end up, right? 100,000, yes. 200,000, possibly. 300,000, possibly. 500,000, possibly. We just don't know. Let's just see where Bitcoin takes us, right? Where the whales take us, where the institutions take us, where the countries take us, where the retail investors take us. Retail investors didn't even come in yet, right? But when the retail investors finally FOMO in, let's see what happens, right? When the memes start blowing up and then the money starts flowing elsewhere, let's see what happens then, right? There are a lot of great things coming. We just don't know yet. All right, what else is there? M2 money supply continues to go up, and you can see Bitcoin traditionally follows the money. When there is a lot of money flowing around, it generally helps all assets, and it helps Bitcoin a lot, right? And the money is increasing. Liquidity injections everywhere around the world, not just in the US, happening in China, happening in Europe, happening in Australia, happening everywhere. So it's just a matter of time. And look at this. This is when Bitcoin was still at 63,000. We're no longer at 63,000. We're hovering around that 70,000 mark. So it's starting to catch up already. Pretty soon we're going to be at the 80,000 mark. And pretty soon we're going to be at 90,000 mark. We're already starting to catch up. And of course, whales are catching up at an unprecedented rate. Of course, we know that. I've been covering this. I've been telling you guys the number of whale addresses, crazy. Since 2024, the number of new whales, the number of whales holding above 1,000 Bitcoin, unprecedented. We have never seen this kind of accumulation from whales ever in Bitcoin's history. And this is happening during a time when the supply is actually going down, when the reserve is actually going down. We have never, ever, ever seen this in Bitcoin's history. This will be the very first cycle where we actually see the reserve go down. So do the math. We have never, ever, ever seen that in any previous cycle. And we're about to enter the parabolic bull run with the reserve going down. In fact, we're down to 2018 levels. So if these big boys, these whales continue to buy like they're buying now, I can't imagine how it's going to be next year when reserves drop to dirt low. I really don't know how they're going to be able to source their Bitcoin. Like right now, they're still trying to buy it directly from the miners and from the exchanges like Coinbase. But I just wonder what's going to happen when the miners say, no, we don't have any more to sell, or when Coinbase says, no, we don't have any more to sell. Like, just look at BlackRock. BlackRock alone in 3 days took in $1 billion. Just BlackRock alone. Now, if you count everyone else, it's about $1.5 billion. Okay, more than that, like almost $2 billion in the last week. But I mean, BlackRock is buying at an unprecedented rate right now. Okay, but like if this keeps on going, this is just a week. Just, you know, multiply it by 52. You know, like if every day these guys are buying $500 million, you think Coinbase has enough to supply $500 million every single day to these guys? No. At some point, Coinbase is going to say, I'm sorry, I don't have any more to sell. So what's going to happen then? Like, I really, truly wonder. Then they have no choice but to buy on the spot market, right? Like at some point, the OTC market is going to dry up. The miners are going to run out and the exchanges are going to run out. Like, we have never run into that before. Like, the OTC market always have been able to fulfill these guys. But what if one point in 2025, they're not able to? And by law, these fund makers can't just shut down their funds. They have to continue to replenish them in order to operate. They have to get them somewhere. I'm just wondering what happens when that day comes. It's going to be really, really interesting. It's going to happen. We have never seen it before because we never had ETFs before. We never had institutions buy $500 million of Bitcoin basically every single day. But that day will come. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when it does next year. A lot of people, it looks like a lot of shorters decided to move their positions. So yesterday, everyone's position was around like 68.1 and stuff, and they all got liquidated. So now it seems like the new resistance point where everyone is setting their stand is now 68.7, right? So you could clearly see that is a large like wall right there. 68.7 with a 31.07 million liquidation leverage. And really, if you look at it, we don't have anything from 61.8 all the way up to really like around 68.4. We got a little bit, like 6 million-ish, right? And then 21 million, about 68.5. And then 68.7. I don't know why that's a new stop right there. So I think we get a good push today. We'll probably push to around here, like around 68.5, 68.6. I don't know why all the shorters decide to make a stand around 68.7 now, but that's what it seems like.